Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to welcome you to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. As you come in, please hit the thumbs up button, shout out the city you're from. Let me know if you're B1. Let me just kind of let you guys know what I am going to talk about today. Bitcoin is going crazy. I've mentioned to you guys repeatedly that I think Bitcoin is the investment that will prepare you for the future. I don't encourage you necessarily to put a chunk of your money into Bitcoin, but I would encourage you to at least consider looking at Bitcoin as an investment, as an asset that you may want to consider adding to your portfolio. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the price of Bitcoin on a screen, and so you guys can kind of see where Bitcoin is going. It is doing really well. I think this week it went up another 12 or 13%. And what I'm going to do is also break down some of the variables that are explaining why Bitcoin is just going beast mode right now, and why Bitcoin is something that I really believe in for the future. Now, do me a favor as you come in, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, let me know what city you're coming from. And also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. So if you have Spotify on your iPhone, just look up my name, Boyce Watkins. You can find the podcast on Spotify so you can listen in your car or wherever you want to go. I do content every single day. So here is Bitcoin. I'm going to try to put it on the screen so you can see it. You guys can see Bitcoin in the last 6 months. Look at that. The last 6 months, it's gone up 78%. This is free money that has been right in front of our faces. This is easy money. You didn't have to do any work to get this money. This was predictable money. If you know anything about this platform, I've been telling you guys about Bitcoin for many years, and I let you guys know that that crypto is going to have ups and downs. Crypto is going to have winters. Crypto is going to have rollbacks and all this other stuff. But Bitcoin, with each passing day, I become more and more convinced that there is a long-term, I don't know if it's a long-term plan, but I think there's a long-term expectation that Bitcoin will continue to be on fire. That Bitcoin is the big financial move to make. And so, anyway, I don't know how many of you own Bitcoin. How many of you own Bitcoin? Give me a yes if you bought any Bitcoin, if you own it, and I'll talk to you guys about some of the variables that I'm seeing that are basically putting Bitcoin on fire. So effectively, what's going on is BlackRock just applied. BlackRock is a big company that literally controls about $9 trillion worth of assets, and they just filed for what is called a Bitcoin spot ETF. So this Bitcoin spot ETF is basically is an investment vehicle that allows you to invest in Bitcoin through exchange traded funds. By incorporating Bitcoin into an ETF and by getting regulatory approval, in which I believe that they wouldn't be filing if they didn't think they had a chance to get this. What it's going to do is a couple of things. Number one, it's going to increase the demand for Bitcoin, which will increase the price. Number two, other companies are going to copy BlackRock. BlackRock is, in my view, they're kind of like the McDonald's or the Pepsi or the Coca-Cola of investing. People follow what they do. They pay attention to what they do. So as BlackRock gets possible approval on the Bitcoin ETF, that's what not just led to this 12% increase that you saw this week, but there's likely going to be another increase that will take place over time as the supply of Bitcoin starts to go down. Now, let me read some more to you in terms of some research I've been doing on this. According to CNBC, they said also other altcoins like Solana and Cardano have gone up. A lot of you may be holding on to XRP in hopes that XRP will eventually get out of litigation and take off. I have held my XRP. I've had a big investment in XRP for many years. Also, they said, meanwhile, each of the major averages posted their worst weekly performance. So this week, the stock market didn't do great. NASDAQ didn't do great, but that was expected. It had done so well. There was so much money being made. It was kicking so much butt that eventually you were going to have a pullback. It's natural. People start to sell when things move up very fast. So that creates a natural pullback. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's just life. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But they said BlackRock filed for their spot ETF in Bitcoin. What else did they say here? They said, amid strengthening regulatory scrutiny from the SEC, Bitcoin was hoisted above the $30,000 mark as a number of traditional finance players following BlackRock's move to file for a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund occurred this week. So effectively, my wife is over here. She always teases me when I go live. So they filed for this application. Also, other companies like Wisdom Tree and Investco are basically following BlackRock. So they're doing what BlackRock did. Also, institutional only crypto exchanges like EDX, markets backed by Fidelity Digital Assets, Charles Schwab, and Citadel Securities announced that they've gone live with Bitcoin and Ether trading. So they're getting into the trading. So even though you have these lawsuits being filed that are challenging, the SEC is challenging the legitimacy of a lot of cryptocurrencies. A lot of people think that the police moving into the neighborhood doesn't mean that they're going to shut down every business and every operation. The police moving into the neighborhood means they're just trying to do a cleanup. And the businesses that survive after the police come through and clean up all the competition are the ones that are going to be the strongest. Like almost like when the cops decide they want to go take down the criminals in the dope game, but they leave a couple of mafia families standing or a couple of cartels standing. Well, those cartels have more power once they've gone through and done their clean sweep, right? So they're going through this neighborhood and they're taking down different cartels, right? And what's happening though is that Bitcoin is like sitting back and saying, okay, we're going to survive this. We're legitimate. We're not a security. They're not going to take us down. We're going to get more regulation. So Bitcoin, by being the last one standing, is likely, based on my assessment, I believe Bitcoin's going to do well. I think that a year from now, the conversation that we'll have about Bitcoin won't be about 30,000. It's going to be about 40 or 50,000. And that's just my assessment. I could be wrong, though. Sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we guess and we're wrong. That's investing. Sometimes with investing, you don't get it right. But this is what my instincts are telling me. So also they said that this week's price action brings Bitcoin's year-to-date gains to 85%. And advanced the cryptocurrency nearly 8% for the quarter, 85% gain. So this is another lesson here to be reminded of, is that when a stock or an asset goes down in value, that does not mean it's a bad investment. Something that has a low price could be the best investment in your portfolio. I was talking to my brother-in-law about a SPAC that I had forgotten about for Virgin Galactic that I used to kind of mess around with, but then I let it go because the market was crashing. I had to reallocate my portfolio. Well, it turns out that this little funky SPAC, this little crappy stock, literally made him like 70% in a week. Why? Well, because he bought it low and it went to a higher price. If a $4 stock goes to $6, then that could be the best stock in your portfolio. So keep that in mind. Don't think that bad companies make bad investments or that good companies make good investments. They said in the past 2 weeks, Bitcoin's trading volume has increased 0.5% week over week, according to JP Morgan. That contrast could mean Bitcoin hasn't attracted new money or investors into the crypto market, which is interesting. So no new money. That's strange. With a lot of good priced in this week, don't be surprised to see a minor pullback in the week ahead. So they're expecting next week maybe Bitcoin's going to drop. If it drops, then that's an opportunity to buy in. There isn't much on the calendar in the coming days, and investors may just sell the strength and wait for the next catalyst. So wait for the next thing to happen. From a technical point of view, Hasegawa says Bitcoin's breakout from the 2-month-long descending channel is a bullish sign. So he believes that Bitcoin's going to go up, especially since Bitcoin's trading volume has noticeably increased. But from a macro perspective, a continued cash inflow may not be likely. Bitcoin may be able to print another leg up to around 32,000 in the short term for technical reasons, but he feels that the current recovery has a short expiration date. So he's saying that there may be a pullback. That's what he's basically saying. And if there's a pullback, if you see a pullback, that might be a time for you to go in and buy some a little bit cheaper. Or if you just are thinking long term, you may go in and just make a move now. If you have some extra money, just think it through, make the decision that works for you. Do me a favor, thumbs up, share, subscribe if you can, please. And I want to give a shout out to a sponsor for this platform, bodynaturalnutrients.com. The part at the end /SLS/AA. Let me tell you what they do. They are a Black-owned business that's sponsoring this particular podcast episode, and they sell a great product. And let me see if I can read this here. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget, we're also on Spotify. So for everybody on Spotify, I'll read this out loud. We want to support the businesses that support us. So basically, Michael Jones from Body Natural Nutrients, he says Bone Factor Advanced Bone and Joint Formula is plant-based with 3 clinically proven ingredients that heal joints. It reduces inflammation and regenerates cells. Okay, I need to reduce inflammation because I work out and I get super sore. For all natural relief of arthritis, pain, inflammation, stiffness, Bone Factor Advanced Bone and Joint Formula, that's your key to a pain-free life. So if you go to bodynaturalnutrients.com/SLS-AA, use the code B120 to get 20% off. And you can go take a look at Body Natural Nutrients. Let me know what you think. And also, if you have a Black-owned business and you'd like to be on this platform and be a shout out on my podcast, just go to drboycefinance.com. That's drboycefinance.com. All right, so let me just sort of finish up here on this conversation with Bitcoin. Guess what? Our daughter, she did national dance nationals this week, and they got first place in the hip hop category. So it's kind of funny. She dances with some little white girls, and the little white girls are doing hip hop dances and all that. But they're really good, and they won first place. So I'm pretty happy about that. So anyway, here's what it says. It says Bitcoin is up 12% this month, even though barely anybody's trading it. This is what CNBC was saying on January 25th. They said Bitcoin's price has risen more than 12% since the beginning of June. Investors attributed the jump to news that BlackRock had filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. The more likely thing moving Bitcoin, though, is large purchases by so-called whales, because liquidity is low. So when liquidity is low and the price moves up, that usually means that the big players in that particular market are making a move. Like you think about a lake that's very shallow. If you have a couple of whales in the lake and the whales move, that's going to really move the water, okay? Because the water's not very deep. It's a very shallow market for the relatively speaking. This analysts say is causing big moves in the price of the world's top digital cryptocurrency. So the world's largest cryptocurrency. So that's another thought, right? If the whales are buying into Bitcoin like crazy and they're making their moves and they're pushing the price up, which means they're bidding higher prices, that means the whales probably know something that other people don't know. This is an important piece of information. Why is this important? Well, it's important because crypto is not a good market. It's what we in finance call an inefficient market. There is what is called information asymmetry. Everybody does not have access to the same information. So I believe that you can gain a lot of insights in crypto by watching what the whales are doing, because I think the whales know something about the supply and demand. They know something about price movements, things like that. And I really think that they feel exactly what I'm talking to you guys about. That there are some catalysts that are going to elevate Bitcoin to a significant level over the next couple of years. I would not miss out on this. This is not investment advice. It's just me sharing my 2 cents with you. Okay, guys. So I got to run. I got to go be with my family. We're about to drive home tonight, but I want to come in and share this with you. Also, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor for tonight's podcast, bodynaturalnutrients.com. /SLS-AA. Go check them out. Use the code B120 to get 20% off. If you have issues with inflammation or anything like that, and you want something that's a natural pain relief formula, feel free to go take a look. Also, if you go to BoyceWatkins.com, don't forget we have the $5 a day investing plan. If you want your family to build wealth over the next 20 years or do this for your kids, it's very easy. Even a 5-year-old could do it. Also, my book is The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You can get a copy at BoyceWatkins.com or on Amazon. Last but not least, I'll be in Seattle July 8th. So if you want to come to Seattle, feel free to go to BoyceWatkins.com and get information about that there. All right, guys, have a good night. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you soon. Take care now. Peace.